I've been very selective about products that I endorse and about the communication that goes out regarding my endorsements, because I feel that as I'm fortunate enough to be in a position of influence, what I say, what I do, the way that I conduct myself is at some level going to be influential to people. It is going to speak to people, and it is going to tell them what I think is acceptable and what is not.
Exactly.
So I'm particular about where I lend my support.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay, so I know I've asked you this again, and I'm going to ask you again. How do you sustain this image? Like, I get that you would do endorsements that you feel good about, you'll do films that you feel good about, but how do you sustain it so then your audience, grows with you, and you may just get a younger audience or an older audience on the way, which is a bonus, but how do you sustain that?
A major part of what we do cannot really be explained. You can't follow a roadmap. So much of it comes from the gut. It's about reading a script and seeing, does this make me feel anything? Does it make me laugh? Does it make me cry? Does it make me feel anything? So it's something that you can't learn, you can't teach, and you can't really explain it to anyone. I think it's served me pretty well so far in terms of what I've chosen to do and in terms of what I've chosen not to do. So ultimately it does boil down to you kind of going with your gut. You trusting what feels right to me, what feels honest to me.
Would you do anything for money, or are you very strict that no, I'll only do it if I feel like it?
No, I've turned down far more money than I've earned. I'm fortunate that I'm in a position where I don't have financial worries. I'm financially secure, and right now I think I have the greatest freedom that anyone could ever ask for, which is that I can choose to work for pleasure.
Fantastic.
I can choose to work on things that make me happy, on things that satisfy me. I don't have to worry about where my paycheck is coming from. I'm comfortable.
That's a great place to be. Congratulations. Okay, so do you think it's harder to sustain yourself now than it was 5 to 10 years ago? Which is a big question. Because, actors obviously back then were different, and like a Salman and an Amir and a Shah Rukh, all of them, do you think it was harder for them to sustain themselves as it is now?
No.
Or even 20 years ago?
No, it is much harder today, because we are competing on so many levels today. We're competing with so many forms of media, and as public figures today, we are under so much scrutiny. Every single step, every single thing that you do is going to be analyzed and reanalyzed time and time again, and anything that you do instantly is going to reach out across the world.
Yeah.
20 years ago, when these guys were making their name, there was a handful of journalists who covered film. It would, any film-related news would come out every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Right now, we're simply inundated with industry news, with what is this actor doing, who is sleeping with who, did someone get Botox? So in all of that, and you have to remember very often that you're dealing with people who are very young. I was 24 years old when I started working. And suddenly you've got this 24, 25-year-old kid who is subjected to intense media scrutiny. Production houses, directors, producers are lining up, and they're going to drop 40 crores, 50 crores, 60 crores on what I want to do. Do you know a 25-year-old that you would trust with 50 crores? I've been trusted with that kind of money. I can read a script and I say, I want to do this, and people will line up and drop the money on it, no questions asked. That is massive responsibility. That is very, very scary. And if you take a misstep, one misstep, you're crucified. What do you know? You're 25 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, as we are today, we are not forgiven mistakes.
Yeah.
If you go back 20, 30 years and you look at a lot of the films that the other guys have done, I'm talking about 20, 30 films which are terrible and are just utterly forgotten about and washed away.
Yeah.
Today, we are not forgiven mistakes.
And I think actors then also can have a certain style and to just fake it throughout and just be this person, But now today, you have...
You cannot mess up. You can't have a wrong film, you cannot say the wrong thing, you cannot look the wrong way. The day you come out and you got sweat stains in your armpits,
they're going to put it in a magazine, they're going to circle it, they're going to have an arrow pointing to it and saying, he's sweating, because for God's sake, why would you sweat? You're a human being, that's not allowed. And what's the weirdest thing that's ever been written about you? Under scrutiny, like...
I've been strangely fortunate.
Really?
Yeah.
But media, we're going to have to work this out. Why is he being so fortunate? What's going on? Can you see a sweat stain?
Doing okay so far. Yeah. It's also really cold in here.
Yeah.
Am I the only one?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. So nothing weird?
No, somehow I've always managed to keep things on an even keel. I've managed to maintain good relationships with journalists, with publications. It's been pretty smooth for me.
Okay. Well, what's the weirdest thing you've ever read about anybody, for that matter? You just open the paper one morning and you're like, are you serious? Why would they write that?
My favorite generally revolves around the speculation of who's had what surgery. Really? Do we care? I don't.
You'll be surprised how many people at home really care.
I know. I mean, okay, fine. So someone got surgery done. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Like, to each to their own, man. Yeah.
You look good, you look bad, whatever, it's your problem.
Yeah. You know, as long as you're happy with your result, right? Just be careful. Okay, movies are pushing creative boundaries, right? And that we spoke about Delhi Belly has been a successful movie, and that has pushed edginess and obviously to another extreme. As an actor, how open are you at taking risks? So it's not just about Delhi Belly, but let's talk about the boundaries that movies are pushing, you know. And what other movies do you think, besides Shaitan and Delhi Belly, what other films, you know, have you seen that are really pushing those boundaries? How are they pushing boundaries?
The thing about taking risks is, and this is something I figured out earlier on in life, is that when you're playing it safe, there's very little scope for things to go wrong, but any success that you get is not going to be very dramatic. So you're playing safe, and you're always kind of going to be on an even keel. The second you take a big risk, you lay it all on the line. You could lose everything, but if you win, if your number comes up, you're going to go through the roof. At some point, you have to decide how you want to play the game. Do you hedge your bets? Do you bet it all on one thing? Or do you do a little bit of both? I've always been someone who believes in doing a bit of both. I will do something that is safe, that is secure, the classic Hindi film rom-com, something that has always treated me well, that has always given me kind of a springboard. And then you balance it out by doing something that you believe in, something that is a little different, a little riskier.
The very fact that you can admit that just shows the difference in the generation. Because a lot of actors back in the day might not have said, I'm playing it safe, and then I'll do something edgy. So you can already see the difference in an actor sitting here today. You can say, yes, I will do something that's safe and sell to an audience, and then I'll also try something risky and see if they like that too.
The fact is that when you do these classic films, the kind that have always worked with our audience, it gives you the backbone, and it gives you a launching pad from where you can leverage that position into backing something that you believe in. So when I get success in the classic space, then I have a certain box office clout, I have certain influence. Then that influence becomes like currency that I can use. It's something that I can use to back a passion project, something that I believe in.
Okay, well, I'm just going to hit a kind of basically a sexist topic. Men and women in this industry. How far do you think they've come? Like, okay, men obviously always the rulers, you know, out of the film industry, we know this. Women, you know, they used to call them just merely props, glamour, someone for an item song, you know, just a showpiece, all of that. How important do you think women's roles are today? And are they getting stronger? And how edgy can women get now?
I think that the past few years have actually seen kind of a resurgence in these strong female characters in films. You go back 10 years and the situation was pretty dire. Girls were frankly little more than props, interchangeable. She doesn't have dates, drop her, take another one. Make sure she looks good in a dress. That's about the requirement. Today we've reached a point where people are actually writing stronger roles for women. And I think that our audience has also evolved to the point where they're interested in looking at something like that. And I mean, just the fact that Vidya Balan can open a film and take in massive collections over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that shows A, her draw as a star, and B, it shows the evolution of the audience, how they're willing to go and watch a female-oriented film.
Do you think they watched it because it was bold and it was a good film, it was a fantastic film, or do you think they watched it because there was a lot of sex involved?
You're thinking of Dirty Picture. I was talking about Kahani.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Now, Kahani is a film where she's a pregnant lady.
Yeah, Kahani I've seen. It's fantastic.
There's no titillation, no sex there. It is just people saying, hey, that looks cool, I want to watch that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think right now is actually a very, very good time. The last 3 or 4 years have been particularly good.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of very strong female performances. My last film, for example, Karina, very, very strong, what you could call a more, a meteor role than